Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I'm a professional intuitive empath. Quick message for you, quick channeled message for you. I was up this morning doing my meditations and such. Here's what you need to know. You were chosen and hand selected as well as your ops. And this means that from a young age or a younger age or before the age you are now, there are people in your life that were sent to be dispatched in to get you off of your path. You were sent in to help people on their paths. You were sent in to help elevate the world in whatever way your gift is. You were sent in to be a light to the folks around you in your community. People were also handpicked to be your ops. So, this is a theme that I've been really working with here in the last several weeks. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. I don't think everybody understands to the depths of what it really means that we are dealing with spiritual warfare. And so you can absolutely have people be in your life that are there and they are picked. The reason that I got this very specifically, it was because I don't listen, guys. I'm not a big TV watcher. I more consume a lot of YouTube and TED Talks and spiritual stuff and then of course some nonsense and fodder like the rest of us. But I'm not a big binge watcher of all of the streaming channels and things of that nature. And so I have to be. And I was on a vacation. I was traveling this week really, and I watched more TV than I usually do, but it was very specific. It was curated and handpicked by the person that I was with, and I believe she was downloaded to have me. It's so interesting because even that is a handpicking in its own way. The programming that she picked. Programming, y'all. I am literally an 80s baby. The programming that she picked, I believe she was very guided spiritually to pick. And it had to do a lot with Odin, and it has to do with gods, specifically gods, and Odin, which is very powerful touchstone god energy for me. For those of you guys that are new here, I went to Iceland about six months ago and had a very powerful kind of encounter before I went as to why I was supposed to be there. It's very interesting when your spirituality starts popping up in ways that are not conventional and are outside of what you might expect. In any case, Odin has been very powerfully working. Odin, Norse god, regarding communication and art and also incredible decision making. So in any case, look it up if you're not familiar. But Odin is the main character in this program that I was watching. And he has selected someone named Shadow Moon to work with him. And they are having this whole epic battle with all of the gods and all of the other forces of the world and this whole thing. And it's really dense, guys. So it's not like, I wish I could explain it to you. Even when I'm watching it, I'm getting so many downloads and spiritual lessons that I'm not even able to almost pay attention from sequence to sequence. My angels will stop me and be like, this is for you. And then I'll get a powerful awakening about something. And then I'm on to the next thing. Well, excuse me, guys. Sorry, I'm having some asthma stuff this morning. I already took my inhaler. Y'all know. What I will say is this. There was my friend picked out DVDs. It was so specific. There's something again about old school energy here. And so she hooked up a DVD player because she wanted me to see the in-between pieces because there was only so many that were available on the streaming services. And so she was she felt guided. It wasn't a big discussion. That's another thing when you have spiritual people around you. They will get their own messages. And then you guys discern together whether it's right. Well, I knew it was right. Because when I was watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, I would have never sought this out. I would have never hooked up a DVD player. When's the last time anybody's hooked up a DVD player, right? I would have never done any of these things had it not been specifically almost done for me. My angels were like, you are in good hands regarding this messaging and us getting this messaging to you. She's being facilitated, used as a tool to do this as well. People are handpicked. You have been handpicked, but in this very specifically, this young man you see him in a flashback. He's in his 30s in the main, present time, but there's a flashback when he's in his teens and his mother's sick. He's in the hospital and someone distracts him while he's in the waiting room doing a magic trick, and it's Odin. It shows up not as a god but just as a regular man, who later he is now fully encountering and now working for and on behalf of, because he was handpicked. But in that moment you see the touchstone of how Odin has been watching his energy and watching him, and was there at all of these very poignant, pivotal moments of his life, because there was something special that he had, and it was a destined moment. So Odin does the trick, and then the guy's like, oh, well, let me try. Shadow takes the coin, he tries, and then he turns around and Odin is gone. But Odin had touched his life and selected him at that time and was saying, you do have something special, and there is magic that is abound, and I'm going to let you explore that more. None of that was said in that moment, but as we see how it unfolds, it was always meant to be that he had this specific destiny, and he was chosen and selected to actually thrive in the future. So the same way that you earth angels are chosen and selected to thrive is the same way that your ops are chosen and selected to get you off course as well. Some people make choices in their life regarding their spirituality and their personalities that they don't want to ascend. Doing spiritual work and shadow work, specifically this character, the child that I was talking about that later becomes the man, is named Shadow Moon. So specifically, our shadow self is very hard to push through. And in his teens, he was specifically warring with his shadow self because he was different and came from France and into America, and so he was not embraced by Black American friends or people. It was a very strong, even though he was a Black guy, he wasn't embraced, and he was fighting all the time and having to defend himself. It wasn't like he was starting the fights. People were picking on him because he was a different sweet kid, and they didn't understand what that meant. Do you think you're better than us? All of that. Angels, ancestors, and my sweet empaths, please understand, your angels and ancestors have a message for you in this morning. You are different. You've been set apart, and it has caused people to pick on you. It has caused people to ostracize you. It has caused people to look at you differently. It has caused people to treat you differently. It's caused people to be suspicious of you for no reason, when all you were doing was literally being dispatched probably to be light in their dark situation. It has caused people's friends and families to look at you. What could you possibly want? What could you possibly want with my kid, with my friend, with my cousin, with my you name it, right? In my life, I have experienced that literally at every turn and in every relationship, raising the ire and the suspicion. There is not a single relationship that I have not had in my life that has not been affected by other people's familial gossip and opinions, or their friends and family. Because when we come into people's life, guys, we're such a fucking radiant light. You know how it says your light will disturb demons? Well, other people have assignments too. It's not just us. It's very easy for us earth angels to be like, we can be the dawdlers, yeah? We're just going along, living our best life. We want to spread sunshine and light to everybody. But people around are like, what the fuck? Wait a minute now. You're over here spreading sunshine and light, but my agenda is darkness. I'm not pushing through and doing all that stupid ass shadow work you're doing because it's too hard. I just want to be in my debauchery. I want to pour me a drink. I want to live my best life. I want to do my whatever escapist things. And we all have escapist things, y'all. For me, you all know me, full transparency. My escapism has been through a pie, okay? Everybody has their drug of choice. For me, it'd be a cupcake, okay? But what I'm going to tell you is each human has a thing to push through, a cross, if you will, to bear. So if it's not through drugs or alcohol or shopping or sex or a cupcake, there is a vice somewhere in there. And all of us have them, the ops and the NPCs, and you too, my earth angels, my sweeties, you too. And what your job is to do is to be very familiar with what your shadow predilection is, with what your escapist tactic and energy is, what your reason for getting out of the work you were supposed to do is. For me, I definitely have an understanding of what it is, and when I'm happiest and when I'm more in balance, it means that I'm more streamlined in certain areas. It's not just always cupcakes, but in other areas where I have vices of my life. But for you, sometimes those vices can plug right back into those other ops that were sent in that love their shadow and they want to keep you there. They want you to stay there because how dare you dare to vibrate higher? Do you think you're better than us? And then the spiritual fists come down and they're trying to take you off your path and knock you to the ground. And sometimes they succeed. But what I need you to know is you were tapped before you were 3. You were tapped before you were 2. You were tapped before you chose to incarnate and come through the parents you chose to come through to learn the lessons that you think were here to tether you to the ground. It was here to lift you up because your spirit does abound. It is aloft. You are up. It is up and it's stuck. But those ops also have a mission too. It is a video game, y'all. The Matrix is real. So every time you make it clear or you level up or you jump the hurdle, there are the hungry ghosts that are coming for you if it's Pac-Man. There are the things like Super Mario Brothers that are coming for you. I don't know video games, y'all. You know what I'm saying. There are the things that are always there at your heel. And their only job is to do their job. They are Agent Smith from the Matrix. It's what they just said to me. I don't even remember that, but if y'all know what I'm talking about, they are Agent Smiths. There are Agent Smiths in your life that it's not even that they like you or hate you. They're like, I'm doing my job, right? Just like you're doing your job in the light. So my challenge for you today is to identify. There's a big thing about NPCs here. Identify the NPCs. Identify the people in your life that are just sent in to get you the fuck off your path, whatever that may be. You know, it's so tempting after we go through narcissistic abuse or any kind of thing like that to just fully hermit for the rest of our lives and be like, I'm never ever going to be around people again. What I find is that if you're a real light worker, it's impossible, my friend. You may think you can hermit forever, but people will be dispatched in. It is safest to be incubated, and it's a really when I say it's safest, it feels safest, okay? But eventually the universe will thrust you back out, whether it's you get a job again, or you see someone at the market, or you have friends that come in, or family. I love to stay in my little insular bubble, but my universal mandate is not to just stay in my house by myself. It is to be in the world, specifically all over it, and specifically with people. And even if it means that it's through this stream, through these words, my angels have been on my ass, guys, to talk to you. They're like, what are you doing? Because I have felt a level of inertia and a level of frustration because life happens. But I realized that I was in spiritual warfare, and they're like, we don't care if you're on there, we prefer to see you, and so you guys will see me soon too. But they're like, there's too much in you, there's too much that you have to do, there's too much information that we're downloading you with, and your job, sis, is not just to keep it to yourself. I'm a teacher, and so I must teach. If you are a teacher, you teach. And that's how I learn, and that's how I set myself and then also the collective free in whatever capacity. You have NPCs that were dispatched in to get you out of your highest self and to make you not look within. They don't want to do your shadow work, and they kind of hate you because you will do it, because you will look at them and say, you got shadow work too, homie. See, people may think that I'm coming at them piously, like, oh, from Mount Shadow Work, do it over here like me. It sucks, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. It hurts and it's heavy, and some days you're like, am I ever gonna push through? There are real tears, there are real rejections, there are real moments when you realize, like, fuck these humans. Like, yeah, guys, I feel it too. There is never a time in my life where I am not here literally evolving with you. It's not just a funny, catchy thing. It's literally what I signed up painstakingly at times, and then at other times in the light to do, to evolve with you. So that means if you feel like fuck humans, I felt like fuck humans too. If you feel like I love life, I feel like I love life too. If you feel like these ops are at my goddamn back and they're trying to attack, I have felt that too. But the mandate here is to push through. Emily, if you're listening, we have clocked in because there's work to do. So even if you're like, well, I'm in my little small part of the world and I don't have a channel yet, or I do have a channel, but I'm not talking about that. Maybe you do something else completely. You're still a light, and you need to see that. So clearly, you still have work to do, no matter what part of the world, what cubicle you're at, what hospital you're in, what office desk, what call center, what work from home, what on the phone, what in a kitchen, what on a mission, what dancing, what acting, what singing, what connecting, what creating, whatever it is that you're here to do, you're a light worker. And that means the light's in you. And that is seen. You were chosen before you ever came in. And you have been touched by angels and ancestors the whole way on your journey. But now they said, now we begin again. There's a reset that's happened. This is not about 2024 or anything gimmicky like that. I'm not your pastor. I am your spiritual practitioner. It's a different thing. And that means that I'm trafficking in reality, my friends, with you. It's a reset. This isn't about new this. No, fuck that. This is about you still exist. This is about push through the inertia. This is about know that the NPCs will come, and stop feeling sorry for yourself, because listen, it doesn't matter how fast you run. There's a new hungry ghost that's going to appear. Our light is delicious. People want to be near. You need to know your magic, and that also will benefit you, and you will be able to move past it. When I mean move past it, move past feeling like this is a burden to have been chosen. You are chosen. You know, there's a lot of like YouTube content about chosen ones, right? The 144,000. That's bullshit. Every one of us has an opportunity to be chosen. 144,000. That's the bullshit. You guys understand? And yes, that's a biblical number, but that's the number that some man facsimilized in his head. You don't think there's more than 144,000 chosen ones? Jesus Christ. Literally. Jesus Christ. If y'all know, then you know. There was a beautiful Mexican man who was a gangbanger and who was reformed. And he started like popping and locking and doing like crunk to Jesus Christ. Like Jesus came into his soul in his prison cell and he's free now. But his whole thing was I've never heard someone say Jesus Christ harder. It was the most hilarious and beautiful thing. And that lets you know that he transformed. Sometimes we will come from a life where things weren't right. He was a gangbanger. He did horrible things. He probably even took people's lives according to his testimony. Allegedly. I don't know his full life. But what I will tell you is when Jesus Christ, when the Spirit of God, when the Spirit of man, the Son of Man, whatever you want to call it, the higher source, when the God of wonder is above all majesty, when the Creator, when the Alpha and the Omega entered into his soul, Jesus Christ, the thing that he did where it was in control and he was an NPC, he was now tapped, he was touched, he was chosen, and he was free. That's powerful. So if this is your story, it doesn't matter where you came from. I'm hearing from gory, as in bloody, as in disastrous, to glory. A story arc for your ass. I love it for us. And I want you to not only understand that I'm not making any kind of regular fuss, and I'm not just saying that it has to be only in God we trust, but it is to understand that these higher entities, powers, angels, ancestors, you have a pantheon of people working with you. I wish you could see behind the veil, like I get to sometimes. Just little glimpses that blow my freaking mind. Nobody cares about if you're cursing or if you're at somebody's altar with your knees bent, or if you're tithing to this church. Are you tithing to the energy that is heaven sent? Are you giving the homeless person some money when you see them? Or are you helping your friend in need? That is your tithe indeed. We are the body. We are the church. And on this Sunday, I don't know why they wanted me to preach. There is no merch to sell. There is no tables to overturn. But find your inner spirituality, because you have been chosen to help set people free. You are his hands reaching, or the hands of the Creator reaching to people in need. But that also means that the hands of those NPCs are reaching, because they're filled with greed and they want your destiny. They don't want anything from you. They don't want your body. They don't want your energy. They want your destiny more than anything. Because if they can get you off the path of what you're supposed to do, then that's a win for their demonic dispatchers. Because they also have work to do. That's the message. Come back and join me next time, guys. We'll continue to evolve together.